君の名前
Welcome. Scott here. Here is a quick boss guide for the story chapter, Act 4 Chapter 3 Part 2 Unforgettable Memories featuring the returning Rosa from Final Fantasy IV. The event synergy units are Rosa, Gao, Kimahri, Kurasame, Rude and Wakka. Rosa's FR and burst weapon will be making their debut. Kurasame will be the other featured returning FRBT unit. We will be fighting the Ultima Weapon Origin. It has 350 million HP. It is immune to delay, include delay from breaks, and turn deletion. Throughout the fight, its turn will be framed. The turn requirement is 55. The HP requirements is 15,000. Before I continue further, here is a small disclaimer clause for the video. The guide is written based on the time that the event was released for the Japanese version. Please do note that it is possible that the boss fight mechanics might differ when the actual event is released in global. Like most other Shinryu fights, the boss gains increased brave damage and gain resistances at start of the fight and 79% HP threshold. Bringing a support like Iris, Rosa, Charlotta, Aerith, Ramza, Yuna, Braska, Iroha, Pernello, Garnet, Rem, and Selpha that grants damage boosting aura will make your fight easier. As the boss gains substantial boost to their defenses with the auras, it is important to inflict debuffs that lower their defenses. On the screen I have listed down the key utility that you can consider when forming your party for this fight. Throughout the fight, the boss has a force gauge charge rate boost whenever the boss or player acts. To cancel the boss force time, you need to use a ranged FR ability that grants buff. FR that meets the conditions are Rosa, Noctis, and Warrior of Light. As this is a single target fight, single target attackers like Astos, Sid Rains, Arania, or Lightning are good to use here. But beware that Arania FR will be gimped for this fight. So, if you want to use her, use another unit FR phase while using her FR as Echo instead. Her powerful follow-up attacks will still make one of the better single target specialists for this fight. The fight features a permanent 20% HP poison aura. So, bringing a support that provide your party with strong healing are highly recommended here. They are Iris, Rem, Aerith, and Braska. Technically, other than its force ability, the boss does not have a lot of nasty HP attacks, but it can reduce your party HP to a killable state. The usual cover tanks work here. But be mindful of their HP though. Buff mitigation units like Warrior of Light or Beatrix or immortal units like Zack, Golov, Arthen, Queen, or Rem are great here. To avoid the party-wide KO force ability, you need to meet the requirements of having at least 18 buffs or have all your buff slots filled with buffs. Buffers like Selpha, Pernello, Yuna, Hope, Sis or Ash are great options for this fight. Most of the cover tanks or damage mitigation options also give buffs, which makes your job of filling up the buff slot a lot easier. The other feature unit Kurasame can freeze boss brave gains, which allows you have a strong form of protection with that utility. Likewise, you can consider bringing strong single target attackers like DFFOO, follow-up attackers like Leo or Seven, and of course always bring powerful support characters to round out your party. The fight is also the last event for the current Dare to Defy event. As long as you have the utility to handle the fight mechanics, this fight shouldn't be too difficult to handle. As we are no longer have Lupania Plus fights, the boss guide will be focused primarily on Shinryu fights. In Shinryu, you need to understand the effects gained by the boss as the force gauge build up, its force ability and its force time effect. If you do not bring any force chargers, it is highly certain that the boss force gauge will build up faster than yours. To have a better understanding on the basics of the force gauge mechanics and Shinryu fights, I have done a video explaining the mechanics. I have included the link to the video under the comments and video description for your quick reference. Throughout the fight, the boss will gain 4% charge rate up whenever your party acts. The boss will also apply a 20% HP poison aura field effect. When the boss force gauge is 60% and above, the boss will apply an aura that lowers your party attack and brave damage by 150%. It will also lower your party brave gain by 100%. The boss force gauge will build up faster as its HP is lowered. You can refer to the table on the screen for the percentages. At the 100% threshold, depending on the number of buffs that your party has, the boss will use either one of the following two force ability, Demise Ice Strike Plus or Dark Glory. If your party has 18 buffs, the boss will use Demise Ice Strike Plus, which is a guaranteed hit, recover from break status, followed by an AoE Brave plus HP attack. If your party has less than 18 buffs, the boss will use Dark Glory, which will result the boss wipe out your party and end the fight. In other words, make sure your buff slots are maxed before the boss uses its force ability. Upon using the force ability, the boss will enter into its force time, where the gauge will start to emit a red hue with a counter of 10 on its gauge. When the force time is activated, the boss will apply a field effect that reduces your party max HP down by 90%. Whenever the boss uses Black Calamity Brave attack, it will gain instant turn right after using that ability. I will discuss more on this when I going through the boss mechanics. To deal force weakness on the boss, which will cancel the boss force time, you need to use a ranged FR which grants a buff. The FR that meets the condition are Rosa, Noctis, and Warrior of Light. Now let us go through the key mechanics of the fight. Behind the boss, there is a wheel. The wheel will change its color as the boss gains more energy. The wheel will change its colors to red with concentrate energy at the 89%, 59%, and 29% HP thresholds. The wheel will change its colors to pink with concentrate energy at the 79%, 49%, and 19% HP thresholds. When its HP dropped to 69%, 39%, and 9%, the boss will use Flare Star. The variant that it uses will depends on the number of buffs your party has when the attack is triggered. If your party has at least 12 buffs, it will use the Flare Star. Flare Star is a guaranteed hit, AoE Brave attack. It will deal self-harm HP damage that lowers your party to 10% of their current HP. Do note that self-harm HP damage does not count to your HP requirements, but it will make your party a lot weaker to their boss incoming attacks. It will use the plus variant, Flare Star Plus, if your party has less than 12 buffs when the attack is triggered. This attack will trigger another max HP down aura. The aura can only be cancelled at 2 HP thresholds when the boss is emitting the red wheel, which is at the 59% and 29% HP threshold. It is also important to note that the boss can use Flare Star during your burst or summon phase. Do not bother too much of thinking ways on how to tank the HP attack. The Flare Star attack does not hurt your HP requirements. It is the 20% HP poison field aura that will hurt your HP requirements. Thus, it is more important to focus on using calls that give your party enough buffs to meet the buff requirements. Examples of calls that meet the requirements are Kate Sith, Sis, Hope and Echo. Both base call and LDCA will work for the requirements. But do note that all these calls need to have the call unit with their EX plus passive. Before I proceed with the FR review, let us focus on the boss basic attack rotation. Generally, the boss only has 2 attacks. They are the standard melee brave attack and Black Calamity, which is a single target melee brave attack. The boss will alternate between them throughout the fight. If you let the boss activate its force time, whenever the boss uses Black Calamity brave attack, you will trigger the following condition: turn rate becomes instantaneous. The boss will gain an extra turn right after using Black Calamity. Overall, this fight is an easy fight if you have the utility to handle it. A single target rush down team comp with follow-up attacker and launches will help in ensuring that you finished up the fight before the boss pose too much danger to your party. As for the HP requirements, bring strong healer support or use HP regen buff to negate the boss poison aura field. Okay. Let us proceed with the unit FR review. The other featured unit Kurasame is still a good unit. If you are doing the Red Crystal quest, I highly recommend you to get him. Other than Edgar, he offers a generic FR phase that allows you to pair with most units of the Red Crystal group. His Brave Freeze utility is still very valuable at this point of time. Now let's proceed to talk about Rosa. Rosa has gained some decent rework and upgrades. Her prey now provides party-wide healing, and she is the first FR charger support with Echo utility for the Blue Crystal. Her FR phase is very team-friendly and generic as well. Her re-raise offers a nice reset button in the event if you mess up. Upon using her Force ability, Rosa will deal an AoE ranged Brave plus HP attack that heals your party back to 100% of their max HP. It will also grant Rosa her Rosa Prayer buff and re-raise buff for the entire party. Both buffs last for 10 turns. There is no aura activation during her force time. Let me cover a bit on her FR conditions. 1. Take a turn with your unit HP is at least 100% will get 45% HP damage bonus. This is easy to attain in most battles. Just ensure that your party HP does not drop below 100%. It is quite ironic that Rosa FR condition will not be that easy to meet for this battle. 2. When total party buffs count is at least 10 and the unit takes a turn, you will get 30% HP damage bonus. Rosa will give the re-raise buff to the party with her S2 and FR. You can make use buff-oriented units like the tanks, Glove, Orin, Gladio, Warrior of Light, etc., buff-oriented attackers like Core or Beatrix. Or you can bring support units that provide a lot of buffs to the party like Pernello, Hope, Wakka or Kate Sith. Overall, her FR is a generic FR with easy to meet conditions. You can get 125% HP bonus by abusing the supercharging strategy. This FR is important if you planning to go with the Blue Crystal group for your weekly Crystal quest. Rosa is currently the only FR support with supercharging with Echo utility for the Blue Crystal group. You can still use Kryl for FR gauge charging if you do not intend to pull for Rosa, but her kit is currently pretty dated now. Rosa's burst aura lasts 8 turns. It provides the standard party-wide auras like giving your party 50% attack up, raises brave damage cap by 20%, grants HP damage up by 20%, raises max brave cap by 30%, max HP overflow by 20% and offers the party 50% brave gain up. In addition to the BT auras, Rosa also provides very strong auras from her base kit. While her BT aura is active, whenever Rosa acts, you will trigger the Holy Blade. Holy Blade is an AoE Brave plus HP attack that deals full HP damage. The attack heals by 50% damage deal and heal back the unit's HP up to 40% of their own max HP. It is noted that trigger has a delayed trigger against threshold attacks. Let's say Rosa attacked the boss with aim. The boss uses its Flare Star threshold attack. Rosa will trigger Holy Blade after that Flare Star attack. The trigger mechanics works pretty much the same like Rem's Siphon Sphere. So, is Rosa a good unit to pull? It really depends on your roster priority. With the upcoming banners that features strong Blue Crystal units like Weiss and possible Cloud, Blue Crystal is very good option to do your Crystal quest. Rosa is usable if you give her max force enhancement boards to allow her to do the charging utility. In my opinion, FR charger units offer great value over time. With this, I have come to the end of my boss guide presentation. Hopefully you find it useful. If you like the video, please give a like. Please subscribe to my channel for future gaming content. Good luck for the fight in the coming days. Bye.